All right, so if you choose the Medela for a breast pump, these are really the items that you're going to need. I do have the light from the sun that's, you know, coming in, but at least you'll be able to kind of make sense out of everything. So your components are, you have these two guys right here. Of course, we have our pump. I'll bring it closer. We have our pump right there. Okay. And I'll talk about that pump later. So we have these two parts. We have these two parts, and each of these two parts has a valve that you can take off. Each of these two parts has a valve that you can take off and put back on, and without those valves the pump does not work. So you really need those valves. You have the funnels that actually go to the nipple, and you have the two bottles that receive, and you have the two tubings that do pull or cause the pressure, so that you can actually, that suction effect of a baby can be felt. So I'll assemble them, and you'll see how that goes. So this one right here goes, if you can see in there, it goes right in there, and of course both breasts, you want to take care of both breasts, otherwise one will stop producing. I know that one always produces less than the other, but yeah, so those go in there like that. And then there's another component to this. If you look in here, there is that that little hole in there. So these tubings, they will go in that hole right there. Okay, so they'll go in that hole. And now this component, of course, you have your covers. Don't forget your covers, because if you're done pumping and you want to store your milk, you need to lid it up. You need to cover it up, so that, yeah. So this goes here. You screw that on like that, and once you've screwed that on, I'll screw it on. Okay, so you screw that on. So that's really your component, and then now you're ready for your funnel. You look for your funnel right there. Okay, so that's basically what it looks like at the end of connecting it. And then you get your little tubing. Now we come to the pump, and you connect your pump. So the pump, of course, has two sides, one for each breast, and sometimes one breast just stops producing. So if you need to actually just pump one breast, you can just, close off this one with that, like that, and then you pump one breast. But my advice, and most lactation nurses, is that pump both breasts, no matter how little the other one is, because it still stimulates the one that's giving more to give as much. So you connect both your tubes in there. Okay, and then this pump, of course, it's power run. And it's good because with this Medela comes this one that you can connect directly to electricity, but then it also has one that can run with batteries. So I personally chose to also buy some batteries, rechargeable batteries, because I want to be environmental friendly. And I had 2 sets of 8, because it's 4 and 4, and I'll show you those as well. And I had to, I would charge one set, and then have the other, use the other, have one charge like that, so that I just always have them in there. If I don't have a power source, I have that. And so it's the same thing, just to you plug it in there, and then you turn it to the level. So at the beginning, when you're just learning to pump, it can be painful. You can kind of decrease, but when you get comfortable, then you can turn it up, so you have a good suction happening, and you can make more breasts. So that's our breast pump Medela. I'll bring it a little closer so you guys can see. And just have to wipe it down each time you use it. You don't have to dip it in water or anything. Just wipe it down and keep it nice and safe in its little bag. And then that other component and then of course we had talked about the bags. This is how these bags look like. So it's a pack, and this is still Medela. This is still Medela brand, and there are other brands as well. And just because you have a Medela pump doesn't mean you have to buy Medela. These bags, if you find some that are cheaper, you can buy that cheaper. So I always had these in my bag for just in case I just in case I forgot these ones, the extra ones. But I tried to minimize them because I realized that I was putting out, you know, more plastic in the environment. And also some at the beginning, because you don't want to waste and you don't know how much the baby is taking, some parents are storing exactly how much, you know, 3 ounces, you know, or 6 ounces. But towards the end, I used to just fill it in, you know, I used to just fill it because it's thawed and poured into a bottle, a regular bottle. So instead of using like 3 of these, I use 1 and fill it up, you know, I fill it up. So it's nice and sealed. To make sure that it's nice and sanitary, you tear off that big part, put the baby's name, the date, the amount, you know. If you, at the beginning I used to do that, but then it just gets too taxing, just because you know that maybe their afternoon feed, they feed more, and then in the evening, you know, the next feed is less. So putting the amount is good, but name and date, because, you know, if they're in a daycare, there are different kids who might also be using Medela. You want to be able to put a name on your child's milk. So that's that. Yeah, okay, so that's one component about, you know, preparing that you need. And yeah, so I try to keep as much as possible to these, because these are washable, to put less plastic in the environment. But sometimes you just can't help it and you just need to do this. And if you have to freeze it up, this is a better system. It takes up less space. Even when handing it over to the daycare lady, it's just